Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's Alan Thomas, aka Shadow Assassins, and today I have a drawing of the Streets of Rage box art cover. Only I added a twist to it this time, and instead of drawing the main characters from Streets of Rage, I decided to draw the main characters from Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't even know how I came across this idea. I was looking at some cover art or box art for Streets of Rage 1 and 2. And I got the desire the other day to just start playing the game, and while I was playing, I don't know why, but I just wanted to do a parody of the actual box art, and the most random thing that I could think of at the moment was using Sonic characters. I just didn't know exactly how I was going to implement them into the Streets of Rage cover. At first I wanted to put a lot of sort of things pertaining to Sonic the Hedgehog in the actual box art itself and just like merge the two together, but then I just thought, screw it, I'm actually just gonna draw the Streets of Rage cover with Sonic characters. It just looks so out of place. And I think it works better. Not putting any rings or any of the craziness from Sonic the Hedgehog in the cover, I think makes it work a whole lot better than if I did try to do that. And then the mere fact that there's like Sonic's arms are muscular like the character in Streets of Rage. I can't remember what was his name, Axel. Something along those lines, I can't even remember. And I literally just played the game the other day. I always confuse the characters from Streets of Rage, the Fighting Force. But in any event, this actually, I not only enjoyed this a lot, this painting actually helped me out a lot. Outside of drawing the Sonic characters, which I've never really drawn Sonic ever in life, and then within like the past 5 months, I think I've drawn like 2 or 3 pictures of Sonic alone. So this is getting crazy. But in any event, this is absolutely the first time I've ever drawn Tails and Knuckles in my life. But I feel like I did a good job with those. Which brings me to another thing. With Tails, I wanted to draw Tails in the picture, but I had trouble. I didn't know if I wanted to draw Tails as the female character or not. And rather than go the route of drawing Tails as a female, which I refused to do, I instead just went ahead with changing the clothes up slightly, but having it sort of resemble the chick from Streets of Rage, and sort of keeping that, I guess, keeping the cover true to form while still having the Sonic characters in the thing. Because it was very simple to use Knuckles and Sonic, but I had no idea how I was going to use Tails, and I didn't want to draw Tails as a character that wasn't in the original cover. So that was just a decision on my part. Basically, all I really did, if you really think about it, is just added pants to Tails. Yeah, that really is about it. I just added pants to him, so didn't have the little shorts on in that picture. Aside from drawing the 3 characters, though, the biggest fear I think I had, or fear in quotations, is drawing the background for the cover of the game. Simply because looking at it, it looked like a daunting task to begin with, and I'm not the greatest person when it comes to drawing environments. That's why I've been doing so many of them lately. But drawing this one actually helped me be able to sort of wrap my head around. I think my comic is actually going to benefit a lot more from me drawing this picture, because I've now figured out ways to draw backgrounds easier, especially doing the buildings and simplifying like the lights of the buildings, and then with the I guess the added buildings and stuff in between. Like it was very simple. It was much easier than I thought it was going to be, or that I feel like it had any right to be quite honest. But once I got a handle on doing the background and getting all the buildings and stuff in the background, the rest of the picture was pretty much a cinch after that. By the way, just for the sake of throwing this out there, Tails is one of my favorite characters. Knuckles is one of my favorite characters in Sonic. At some point I'm probably just going to draw a sole Knuckles picture, but I'll come to that another day. Another thing is I didn't want to outright draw this as a fusion painting, which is part of the reason why I just kept this as Sonic characters dressed as the Streets of Rage characters. I didn't want to try combining the 2 games or anything into one or nothing like that. I just wanted to leave Streets of Rage as is and just change the characters up as its own picture. I'll leave all that combining stuff to my fusion paintings, which I should have another one coming up soon. But in any event, yeah, this was really enjoyable. I had a lot of fun drawing this goofy picture. and I plan on doing a lot more of them. I have a lot more wacky ideas going on in my brain to start just drawing offbeat posters and pictures. And they may be referenced to fighting games, they may be referenced to anime, who knows? I guess it all depends on where my mind is the day that I decide to draw some of the stuff. Because I have no idea where my head was when I drew this, other than I've been playing a lot of Sega Classic games. Hence why you specifically have Sonic and Streets of Rage. As I say this right now, I'm really in the mood to go in the room and just start playing just Streets of Rage 2. I don't know why, I freaking love that game. And also this gave me an excuse to listen to the soundtrack over and over, which by far Streets of Rage 2 has one of my favorite video game soundtracks of all time. Aside from all that though, yeah, this picture wasn't, as I said earlier, once I got the background finished, the whole thing was pretty easy. I just had to worry about the shading and lighting of the picture, which wasn't that difficult in and of itself. And because I'm drawing Sonic characters, I could get away with leaving it a little more cartoony than normal. And since I touched on the background earlier, I guess to simplify and explain what I did, I pretty much just drew the outline of the buildings, and then I drew the lights on each building. Just to simplify things, I copied and pasted on a couple of them. For the most part, I drew all the lights out. And then on one side of each building, I guess the side that was facing the sun, I just lightened it up. And then I took just like a red brush with the opacity really low on it, and just spread it across all the buildings to create that little, I guess, reddish hue effect from where the highlights are on the building, which was actually pretty easy. Just slightly time consuming, but it was alright. It looked like it was going to be a lot more complicated than it actually was when I first took a glance at the Streets of Rage box art. And then when I finally finished the picture, a big problem that I had next was whether or not I was going to actually label the picture as a Streets of Rage picture, or whether I was going to label it Sonic at the top. And in the end, I just went with labeling it Sonic. I figured it would be way too obvious if I actually put Streets of Rage at the top. So I just left that alone. And then finding a font that would actually match the Streets of Rage box art too was a task in itself. But I feel like I pulled it off pretty well. I don't know. You all be the judge. Let me know what you think of this painting, whether you like it or not, or whether you thought this was a pretty decent idea. I'll probably doing more of these little random side drawings of just offbeat characters in the future. Offbeat characters, just characters that don't fit in the context that I have them in the pictures. And like I said, I have quite a few more ideas rumbling around in my brain, but we'll come to those at a later date. Right now, I have other stuff that I'm about to get back to work on, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. And like the video, leave a comment, and let me know what you thought of this painting and the video itself. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell so you get notified when I post new videos. Also, go ahead and check out my new website. You can buy art prints, including the print for this picture, at my new store at shadassassins.com. And I hope you all have a good one. I'm out.